Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. It's me, Russ Shaw. Here I am, rock you like a bomb cyclone.
I'm Shantae Sumter. It is a first alert weather day as we wake up to widespread damage this Wednesday morning. High winds last night toppled trees and power lines across western Washington. Some spots saw hurricane force winds. Camino Island and Enumclaw clocking in at 63 and 74 miles per hour. Right now, more than 600,000 people across the state are without power. Puget Sound Energy says they're expecting this to be a multiple day outage.
That's right, it's Wednesday and we survived the bomb hurricane. No, cyclone. What's the difference between a hurricane and a cyclone? Not sure, but that's not important. Records. The record survived. We've got power to heat the home and play the records. So that's really all that matters.
Night like?
It was very loud, very dark, a little scary. All I heard is the trees cracking and going down.
Well, we put our Como drone up, and let's take a look at the drone right now. Let's take a look at that drone live feed, and then Carrie and I were going to take a look here at the video as you're seeing it at home. And
I'm joking, of course. We hope everything's okay. Everyone's okay out there. I guess there's one person that did pass away due to this thing. I'm not sure what the circumstances are. But yeah, man, when the power's out, people suffer, especially if you don't have heat.
Winds are weakening. We have a few showers out there, even thunderstorms along the coast. There's our bomb cyclone, last 24 hours really wrapping up, even now sending a few thunderstorms to the coast.
Anyway, 3 records I wanted to share with you. I haven't done one of these in a while, right? Like just being in front of the records and, hey, this is some of the stuff I got over the summer. I've shared a few of those, but let's get into it. Got this one. All these I got a pretty good deal on, like less than 25 bucks. So I had to pick this one up. This is the 50th anniversary of the Grateful Dead's American Beauty. Came out in 1970. And just, there's a couple of studio albums that I like of Grateful Dead. It would be this one, Working Man's Dead. There was one that came out, and they had a hit in the 80s. To be honest, I don't think I've ever sat down and listened to that whole record, but I would probably give that one a chance too. Jerry Garcia got cleaned up from, heroin addiction and a lot of the stuff that he was into, and that album is, that's for a different album, that conversation. This one peaked out number 30 on the Billboard 200, which is pretty interesting. The song Truckin' got some radio play, right? Truckin'. I do a lot of that. Anyway, 74, it hit, 1974, it hit gold finally, which is interesting. It took until 1986 to hit platinum. Had me also thinking about the population of the world, Like this taking, 4 years to go just gold. And nowadays you got streaming songs that hit numbers, it's just weird, this whole the internet age and the way recordings are calculated and popularity nowadays without, radio plays and do most people even listen to the radio anymore? It's different, sad a little bit, right? Seeing that go away. I've been wanting this album for a while. And it finally dropped to a price. This is another repress, right? It finally dropped to a price that was affordable for me. But I love this record. Peace sells, but who's buying? That's a great philosophical argument right there. Dave Mustang and the guys. 1986, I believe this one was. Peace sells. That bass opening intro, right? It was like the MTV News opening theme for decades, I think it was. This album, oh, I love this album. I heard this, speaking of streaming, this is an album that I got into on the streamer because it came across as like, hey, you might like Gaslight Anthem. And I got into their whole catalog, but for some reason this album especially, just an amazing record. I really enjoy this record. And I heard I would listen to the album on the streamer, because you can do that, right? You just, hey, album, you can collect albums and put them in a folder and such. And this one, yeah, I listened to this whole album, like 2014 this came out, and I listened to it a lot. It's, you know, I think I was going through something at the time too. There's like a breakup songs in here, and I think I was like trying to break up with myself, my own ego in a certain way. There's songs about that kind of stuff in here. 1,000 Years, Stay Vicious is the beginning opening track, great song. 1,000 Years is a great song. Get Hurt is the it's kind of a poppy, more of a poppy song, but it's the title song of the record and has some weight to it, you know. Stray Paper, Helter Skeleton, of course, the Rollin' and Tumblin'. This is a band from Jersey, heavily influenced by Bruce Springsteen. I was looking up the genres of this band because, you know, it's one of those interesting bands, like what's the genre of that? People just say it's a rock and roll band, which they are, of course, they're a rock and roll band. But you know, rock, alternative rock, and I think the most interesting one was folk punk. It's one of the genres of the Gaslight Anthem is folk punk. And just amazing record. Great band. I like this record. It didn't get that great of reviews either by the critics. The critics didn't like this record as much as they liked some of the earlier stuff from the band. The 59 sound, stuff like that. And that's another great record. Handwritten is another great record by this band. But this one, I don't know. I just have an infinity to this record. I like it. I like it a lot. So there you go. 3. I'm just going to share 3. And I'll share 3 another time because I got to get to work, man. Running late. I got up early. We had the bomb cyclone last night. Our power went out for a little while. Like what? 5 minutes? If that. Power went out. But right now there's like over, I think, 30,000 people just in Snohomish County here that don't have power. Seattle wasn't hit as hard. But outlying areas of like Lake Stevens over here, anything in the foothills up in the mountains was hit pretty bad. We had like transformers popping and boom, boom last night, high winds, and it was pretty fun. It's kind of amazing. It would be funner if we had a generator. Wouldn't have to worry, or if the stove in the basement was hooked up. That thing's a mess. We have like a wood-burning huge furnace. Looks like something out of a horror movie. But it's got some issues, so we can't light that up. It's got asbestos coated on the inside of it. So I'm like, I'll pass on firing that thing up again for a while. You know, till that can get cleaned out, which will probably never happen. It's a historical relic, basically, at this point. But yeah, thanks for watching. And thank you for the concerns and the thoughts and prayers over our horrible disaster. Wow. It's like these people had to walk. Jeez, that's scary. I'm gonna walk around that. Yes, thanks for hanging around for some bonus content. Off to work. This is Wednesday. Let's go back in time to Tuesday. Here's what was going on. Well, yet another street closed. I don't know how I'm going to get to my client. Wow. That is pretty wild. Let's just sit underneath the power lines here. That's great, Russ. Get the heck out of here. Hey everybody, it's me, Russ. Today, I'm not working. I had one job booked and I had to move it because it was an outdoor job. And today, that's right, bomb cyclone hitting the Washington coast, and you know it's gonna come inland. So is this like, they don't name it, it doesn't have a name, it's not like, you know, it's not named Ralph, you know, or anything like that. Like, we don't have a name for our cyclones apparently. This is a thing. The news is sort of trying not to play it up so much, but you know how like marketing with these news companies is like bomb cyclone, and you know, right on the bottom of your screen, and the news people are, well, you know, it's it's going to be more windy in the mountains and on the coast than it will be here, apparently. But there's supposed to be a windstorm. They're doing, you know, all the PUD and public utilities. They are bracing for this and cutting trees and stuff like that. Driving by the graveyard, and nice shot of the mountains over here. Check this out. Whoa, mountains. A little bit of snow. Got a little bit of snow out there. First, some of the snows of the season.